And rolling here. Well, all right, all right, all right. Happy February 3rd to you. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I am Coach Lois, and I'm going to be one of your presenters today. But I want to go ahead and kick it off with my friend, and she's actually my coach and mentor, Jenny Harkleroad. She's a #1 best-selling author, speaker, and subconscious mind change teacher. She's a mother of 4, which is her greatest claim to fame. She's a big-hearted entrepreneur. I can attest to that, and a business leader. She built a business in San Diego over 13 years, producing double digits in the millions. With the power of her mind, Jenny overcame her past of chronic pain, addictions, bad relationships, and unhappiness. She never knew how sweet life could be until she changed her mind, and that changed everything. And I can't wait for you to hear her story. Her story caught my heart and my mind back in October of 2019. She broke her back on a mountain cliff, and that changed everything for her and gave her a ferocious appetite to transform lives and help others create what's missing in their lives. So Jenny and her team help others transform their success, health, and relationships so that they can enjoy a happy, healthy, wealthy, and abundant life. Take it away, Jenny.
Awesome. Thank you, Lois. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. And I am going to share my PowerPoint with you. And we're going to get started here talking about your success and happiness lie inside of you. So how do you tap into that? How do you access that success, and how do you access that happiness to create your best life? Well, we're going to get into that today. And I want to ask you a question, and I want you to type your answer in the chat, which is, what type of life do you want? If you could only put one word in that blank, a life of what? What would you put in the blank? A life of, type it in the chat, one word: abundance, fulfillment, abundance, joy. What else? A life of love, happiness, peace, prosperity, purpose, abundance. Awesome. Those are all great answers. Bountifulness, creation, love it. Adventure, nice. What type of life do you want? Health, perfect. Balance, freedom. All right. So today we're going to talk about a life of choice. And a life of choice comes from having options. And one way to have options in your life is show me the money. When you get good at sales, you can have a life of choice, right? Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys options. And we're going to talk about how to increase your sales today so that you can increase your options. So like Lois said, my name is Jenny Harkleroad. I'm an author and speaker and mind change teacher. And in my former life, I had a lot of sales jobs, and it's kind of small to read, but I listed them here. I started when I was young, when I was 12. I started selling flute lessons, and then I started selling sandwiches, and then I started selling adjustable beds, and then I started selling MCI long distance. Do you remember when we had to pay for that? And then I started selling prescription drugs out of Canada. And then I started selling new accounts for Bank of America. And then I started selling office supplies on eBay. And then I started selling soap for Amway. And then I started selling real estate for Remax. And now I sell transformation. And why is that? 33 years of selling. I could just go get a job, but I don't want to. Why? Because sales gives me a life of choice. And I want to share with you just a few fun photos of me and my family of things we've been able to do over the years with a few dollars that I've made from sales. So this first picture is a Disney cruise, and we took a couple different Disney cruises. And I don't know if you've ever been on a Disney cruise, but once you do, you can't ever go on any other cruise line. Nothing compares, right? It's magical in every way. And you definitely pay for the magic. And so I was thankful to have a successful career in sales so I could pay for the magic. I wanted my kids to swim with dolphins and order room service and experience other cultures. I wanted to lounge in hot tubs around the world with my family. I wanted to ride quads on the beach with my son and let him hold raccoons. I wanted to ride horses through the jungles. I wanted to discover new islands and new places. I wanted to sail around the world. I wanted to make memories with my family. I wanted to watch my son's face swimming with turtles in the ocean. I wanted to take my daughter to Italy and Spain and Switzerland and England, and I did. What a trip that was. During COVID, I escaped to Hawaii with this daughter, Ashley. If you can see on the bottom picture, we're hanging upside down from zip lines. Oh my gosh, what an adventure. Parasailing, how fun. Flying her to college first class, taking her to hot springs, sailing beautiful boats with my husband who loves to sail, buying my dream car, recently got a hot tub. This is New Year's Eve, my son and his friends in the hot tub. So do you want to live a life of choice? Those are my toes. That's in Aruba. Enjoying the good life. And why? Why? Because I can, because I'm good at sales. And the thing about sales is serving. When you can help somebody understand that you can help them, you can solve their pain point. It gives them a life of freedom and it gives you a life of freedom. And so do you want this life of choice? Many people today, with what's going on in the world, are sad, frustrated, stressed out, hopeless, depressed. Some of you might even be feeling like, gosh, I don't know if this business is going to work that I'm doing. I'm not sure how the pandemic, if it's ever going to end and how this is playing into what I'm trying to do. Where did my joy and my happiness go? Well, today we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about living a life of choice. We're going to talk about the science of success. We're going to talk about how your beliefs create your reality. We're going to talk about how to create a life of choice from the inside out. And we're going to talk about committing to living a life of choice. So as most of you know, I didn't learn this at school in a book. I learned all this brain stuff the hard way. This was me on August 10th of 2013. I had been standing on a mountain ledge and my husband said if I was young and in shape, I would jump off of here. And I thought I was young and in shape, so I jumped. And Colleen, who's on this call, actually was there. She was camping with us this day when this happened. And I couldn't get up. I heard a crunch in my back when I landed and I couldn't move. And they called 911 and this ground crew came in and tried to get me. And when they couldn't get me up, they ended up calling Life Flight. And that's me in a basket with a doctor attached to me, being zip lined up to a hovering helicopter. And I was told that I broke my back when I got to the hospital. And when you break your back, you get some thinking time. And what I thought was I need to get better. And thankfully, I wasn't paralyzed. And I tried to do all the natural things I could to heal my back. And I did that for 2 whole years. But after 2 years, I still couldn't even sit in a chair. I was in so much pain. And so I ended up having major surgery. This is my back. They put in these rods and screws and synthetic disc. They thought this would help my pain. Unfortunately, it didn't. And so then they started prescribing me all these different pain pills. And thankfully, you can see that these pain pills are dumped in my garden. And the reason they're dumped in my garden is because I met this man, Dr. Warren Jacobs, a medical doctor, who told me I could program my mind and get out of physical pain. I didn't believe him, but I was desperate, so I tried it. And 6 sessions later, I was completely healed. This is me and my best friend, Kelly, down at Mission Bay. doing handstands, and as much as I can, back bends with metal in my back, right? No more pain, completely healed. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. How was I better after all this time, after all these struggles? I realized that I had more power in my mind than I realized, and I started studying the power of the mind. Not only was I able to heal my back and heal my pain pill addiction, but I was also able to heal my marriage, which is one of the things I'm most grateful for today. For almost 20 years, it was miserable, and now it's happily ever after. How did that happen? All with the power of my mind. And so today I'm going to show you how to tap into this power to not only heal your body, your mind, or spirit, or anything you're trying to heal, but how to tap into your sales success. So really, I cracked the code to my health and happiness and relationships, all by changing my brain. So I was good at sales, but I was bad at health and relationships. Maybe you're good at health and relationships, but bad at sales. Whatever you're bad at, whatever you struggle with, you just don't have a subconscious program to support you and or the skills necessary to do the job, which Lois is going to cover in a little bit. So you can want to succeed, you can want to change, you can want to be good at sales, you can want to be healthy and happy and live a life of choice. But until you believe it at a deeper level, it's not going to happen. So today I'm going to show you how to create that in your life. So I'm going to show you how to turn your dreams into reality. I'm going to teach you how to reprogram your mind for ultimate success. Anybody okay with a little more green out there? Yeah? Okay, awesome. So the first thing we're going to talk about is called the 17-second rule. Now, you have two minds, and this is in regard to your first mind, your conscious mind. So when you have a thought, it's an electrical signal in your brain for 17 seconds. If it goes on for more than 17 seconds, it becomes a chemical reaction within your body. So you start to feel equal to the way you're thinking. And so pretty soon you're thinking how you're feeling and you're feeling how you're thinking. It becomes a feedback loop. Now, as soon as this happens, it attracts like thoughts. So you are proving your story to yourself with what you're thinking. So you're thinking it, you're feeling it, you have all the proof, and you're buying your own story. And so what I want to teach you today about sales is that you have to think positively about sales. You have to believe you can do it. You have to believe you're excited about it. You have to believe that people want your phone call or your text or your email or your LinkedIn connection or your Facebook Messenger. You have to believe that. And if you start to think, I don't want to bother people, or they're probably not interested, or they might not be able to afford this, the story becomes your reality. So today I'm going to teach you how to succeed in sales with both minds, but this is the first mind, the subconscious mind. So whether it's your sales or your health or your happiness, you can't have a negative thought for more than 17 seconds without it changing your reality. Your mind is that powerful. So Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how if we realize the power of our mind, we would never let a negative thought slip by. We would constantly obsess on what we do want and what we're going to create and how we want things to be, instead of the opposite, instead of thinking about the negative or the what ifs or the negative side of things. So he says, if you knew this principle were true, would you ever miss a day to intentionally create your desired destiny? And that's what you can do with the power of your mind. You can create your desired destiny. So now we're going to go a little deeper into the subconscious mind with the 3 secrets to creating ultimate success. So the first secret is that you have 2 minds, and you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And we demonstrate it here with an iceberg because the subconscious mind is below the surface and we're not aware of what's in our subconscious mind. We're only aware of what's consciously there. But if you ignored the bottom of that iceberg, there'd be a lot missing, right? And that's how your subconscious is. It's 95% of the time in charge of how you feel and how you think and how you act and how you react. And so if you make a sales call and it doesn't go so well, and you subconsciously believe you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're not deserving, then you probably won't pick up the phone again. But if you have a subconscious belief that you can do anything and people want what you have and never give up and keep trying, well, you'll just make the next call. So it really affects your sales success, what is going on in the subconscious mind. So consciously, you're doing the action, you're taking the action, but subconsciously, that subconscious mind is either supporting you in it or sabotaging you in it. So according to Bruce Lipton, PhD cellular biologist, your subconscious mind is 1 million times more powerful than your conscious mind. So I think of it there like Niagara Falls. That's your subconscious mind. And I think of that boat as your conscious mind. So what if you want to succeed in sales and you're the boat, right? And all those limiting beliefs are coming down around you. It's not going to be possible for you. But if you can get that power of the Niagara to support you in your success, imagine what you could accomplish. So secret number 2 is that you were programmed. That's right, your subconscious mind was programmed. So it happened when you were young, from when you were literally in your mother's womb till you were about 8 years old. Whatever you saw or heard or felt or experienced became your program, whether good or bad. And so now we go along living our life, and our subconscious is printing out what we believe. So if you look at your life is a printout of your subconscious beliefs. Where life is easy, you have a subconscious program to support that. Where life is a struggle, you do not have a subconscious program to support that. So in sales, you might have picked up some negative limiting beliefs like these. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's the root of all evil. You don't deserve it. You're not worthy of it. You're not smart enough, tall enough, pretty enough, educated enough. You're not enough. Salespeople are sleazy, slimy, dishonest. Ew, who would want to be like that? Rich people think they're better than everyone else. Sales isn't a real job. So imagine if these things were part of your programming from either something you heard or experienced or felt or perceived. How would you succeed in sales when you have this going on under the surface, when this is your Niagara Falls? So you've got to turn it around. So the good news is secret number 3 is you can change your programming. And you can literally reprogram your mind just like you can reprogram a computer. What you have to do is you have to open this thing called the brain bridge, the corpus callosum. When you were born, you had 200 million neural connections between both hemispheres of the brain. It was a superhighway. And the older you get, the more that superhighway turns into a brick wall. So you get set in your ways. Have you ever heard you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, that's because you get your personality, your beliefs. And we've got to get that bridge open to change the belief system so that you can change your reality. You want to be in what we call a whole brain state, where you're passionate and emotional and creative, but also logical and strategic and practical all at the same time. You want to get into a place where you're open and curious with what's going on in the world, not biased and reactive and judgmental. So what's sabotaging your sales? I'm sorry to say it's you. But it's not on purpose. It's below the surface. It's subconscious. Your sales are being sabotaged with your limiting beliefs. So how do you change that? Well, you ask yourself a very important question, which is, what do you want? And you write it like it already exists. So I've got some examples for you. So maybe you want to believe these type of things in your subconscious mind. Maybe you want a Niagara Falls of power in these topics. What if you believe that it's easy to make money in sales? What if you believed you easily prioritize your to-dos and take action? What if you believed that you loved making sales calls? What if you believed that you enjoyed networking live and online to meet new prospects? What if you believed that you easily follow up daily? What if you believe that you love setting goals and easily staying committed to them? What if you believe that selling is serving? What if you believe that you love sharing your message with everyone you met? What if you believed you felt comfortable talking to people in large and small groups? What if you believed you're confident and bold and successful? What if you believed that you could focus on your why and know your purpose? What if you believed that you had a passion for the work that you do? What if you believe that you're comfortable making videos to promote what you do? What do you want to believe? What belief could help you succeed? Where are you struggling? And flip it around. Turn it into the opposite and write it in a positive goal statement like it already exists. So now we're going to do it. We're going to program our mind for success with the scientific process that I created to change your brain. So will you guys play with me? Will you change a belief right now? Okay, so what you got to do is either use one of these that I have or write your own. And I'm going to walk you through a little process to repattern your brain. So I'll give you a couple seconds. These or write your own. Or you write it like it already exists in the positive, first person, present tense, short, meaningful. All right, give me a thumbs up when you have your goal ready. Okay, let's do it. So super easy. You're going to cross your arms like this. And you're going to close your eyes. And you're going to start repeating the new goal statement silently over and over while taking nice, slow breaths for about a minute. When you're ready, you're going to uncross your arms and recross them so the other hand is on top. Close your eyes. Keep repeating your goal silently for another minute. You're ready, you're going to uncross your arms and start tapping your fingers together like this. Close your eyes. Keep repeating your goal silently for another minute. When you're ready, hold your fingertips together. Keep repeating your goal silently, eyes closed for one more minute. You're ready, you can open your eyes. All right, nice job. So you literally just built a new pathway in the brain, a new way of being, a new subconscious program. So what do you do when you change your brain? How do you make sure that your brain takes that new path instead of going back to the old path? Well, you take action. So what action can you take to accomplish this goal that you just programmed your mind for? I want you to think about it for a minute. Is it making, what does Lois say? 5 calls a day keeps the debtors away, right? What is it? What is it that you can do? What action can you take to accomplish this goal? You're going to write it down and you're going to do it. And you're going to start to notice over the next few days that this task gets easier because your subconscious mind is now supporting you instead of pulling you away from accomplishing this goal. So beyond the money, you've got a bigger purpose. What is that purpose? I want you to heed that call and accept that call and act on that call. And don't deny that call, because it can literally make you sick when you're not living in your purpose. If you believe you're meant for more, you will be, do, have, and make. You'll be clear and confident and authentic and consistent. You'll work smarter and not harder. You'll have a balanced work and life, and you'll make more money. It's actually harder to stay stuck than to move forward. So sometimes we think it's hard to accomplish our goals. It's hard to make the calls. It's hard to do the work. You know what's actually hard? It's hard not to live a life of choice. It's hard to be stressed and struggling and not achieving your goals. So don't be stuck. Move forward. You are meant for more. Will you claim it? Your success and your happiness lie in you. A life of choice. Do you want to live it? Well, now you know how you can live a life of choice with the power of your mind. Your conscious mind with the 17-second rule, your subconscious mind with the 3 secrets to success. So you just learned the mindset of sales success. And now Lois is going to take over with the toolkit for sales success. So give me a minute to pull up her bio because I got the wrong screen up. 1 second. I can read it real quick here.
I was going to say, if someone needs to run to the bathroom, this is an okay time to do it. Just remember, we're going to do open live Q&A at the end. So there is a Q&A feature at the bottom. So if you had questions for what Jenny just shared, it's okay to put them in now so you don't forget. And then after I'm done, you'll want to put more Q&A in there. So just be ready, because this is a class. We want you to have those questions answered before we let you go at the end of 90 minutes.
Perfect. And that was the great amount of time I was able to find your bio. So here we go. Lois Kofi is one of just a few hundred certified 12-week-year trainers in the world. As a recovering workaholic who has worked from home for the last 13 years, she has excelled in setting and keeping healthy boundaries, learning how to say no, and making more money in less time by mastering the principles she teaches her clients. She has made 6 figures in 3 different sales industries and was a highly sought after recruiter salesperson for multiple companies. She has mastered balancing being a mom and a wife and a podcaster and an entrepreneur, so much that she leads by example and takes 12 weeks off a year to truly live her best life. I give you Lois Kofi.
Yay, that was amazing. So honored to always, it's a tough act to follow when I go next. I got to tell you, Jenny, but that was amazing. And I'm excited to share how Jenny's also impacted my sales process, even though I've been in sales for 22 years. I still have some of those monkeys on my back, some of those fears, and I'll share more on how I take action every day to also help move through those fears. So I'm going to share with you my Kofi sales formula to increasing sales results in less time. Again, make sure you have something to write with and write on. And also, I just want to throw this out there. If people are watching the recording, there's also an amazing 80% off promo that Jenny and I are doing. So make sure you watch the time on this because you don't want to miss out on that as well. So I specialize in permission-based sales and marketing. Permission-based is business by referral. Permission-based, it also on social media, is all about getting people's permission to have that sales conversation. And my hope today is to help you shift that paradigm, just like Jenny did, that sales is not a swear word. It's really all about service and asking permission to take people down that path of a sales conversation with you and your divine purpose with the product and service that you sell. A little bit about me. I was born and raised on a farm in Iowa. Like Jenny said, I'm a 12-week-year certified trainer. There's only about a couple hundred of us in the world. If you haven't read that book, you're going to hear a little bit about that today. That's me and my family. On the top right at Christmas last year, and that's me and my husband. Halloween is one of our favorite things to do every year, and that was one of my favorite costume parties going throwback to the 70s. I have to say, I love sales. I love it so much. I started when I was 9 months old. That's me on the left making my first sales call. And really, it was just kind of fortuitous because I do love making sales calls. I do love the phone, and that was just my parents' way of maybe predicting my future. I'm not sure. Like Jenny said, I've had multiple sales careers. I've actually sold over 3 industries, and one of them was fitness. So I've actually coached thousands of people in health and fitness and in sales and in business as a sales trainer for different companies. That's Tony Horton. Any P90X fans? Anybody ever do P90X? Drop that in the chat. It's a great program, and it actually really resonated with my 12-week year certification because a lot of people think you have to improve yesterday. That really, there's no such thing as it takes 21 days to make a habit. So I want to also set that intention for you. It takes longer, usually 90 days, because they say scientifically it's 66 days to create a habit, whether it's health, whether it's sales, 66 days. You might want to write that down just to remember that. Here we are. One of the reasons Jenny and I actually did this masterclass today is because as of February 1st, 80% of the New Year's resolutions have been forgotten, right? We don't want that for you. We want 2022 to be your best year ever. And to support what Jenny talked about as well, with all of these 12-week years, these 90-day goals that I set, I've been able to create a lot of and fulfill a lot of dreams. And one of my dreams was to move to Southern California. And if you know anything about the cost of living out here, that seemed impossible. However, it was one 12-week year, one 90-day focused, just laser beam vision, which I'm going to talk about in my presentation, that I was able to manifest that. And in that picture in the middle, my last little personal note is my next dream, because I'm not staying in California. I love you, Jenny, but I want to move to New Zealand. And I know that I know that I know if I do all the things that I lead by example that I'm teaching you today, it's done. Like it's already manifested. So I want you to think about that.
Hey, Lois, your sound is kind of going in and out a little bit. Do you want to try your earbuds?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Because
Yeah.
we don't want you not to hear me. Doesn't make me look as cute, but can you hear me a little bit better now?
Yes.
I might. Okay. Thanks so much. So really quickly, my story and how Jenny and I got to be connected. Even though I had 20 years in sales, guys, I was not ready for the pandemic. Okay, I was not an online salesperson. I was 20 years face to face, belly to belly sales. All those six-figure careers were face to face, belly to belly. So I was forced, like many of you. Was anybody here in the same position? If you want to drop that in the chat, I was forced to have to pivot, and I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. And this was with 20 years of experience. That's why I said what I said at the beginning. We all have our own inner demons, those like voices that say you can't do this. Who are you to do this? So at that time I was actually poisoning myself to stop selling for other companies and lead with Lois. But I was so afraid because I had no email list, no tribe online, no digital offers, no website, no sales system. So that's where I started just 2 years ago, in fact, this month. On top of that, I had children to homeschool, which, oh, by the way, I had never done before. So, how many of you guys saw this picture on the internet? Mom, why are you hiding the laundry room? I'm working. I have a deadline, but we're hungry. Have your dad fix lunch. Dad's in the bathroom on a conference call. Okay, eat some candy. We're bored. So, that was my life. And can anybody relate to that? On top of that, I also lost my mom and my brother back to back in February and April of 2020. So, needless to say, I called Jenny and I said, here I am. I've never been a homeschool teacher. Here I am. I've never been an online salesperson. Here I am. I'm grieving the deaths of two big, huge figures in my life. How do I keep moving forward? She helped me, thankfully, started before the pandemic, actually in 2019, remove a lot of those limiting beliefs so I could sell with excellence and become fearless. And it took me these four things that we're talking about today, focusing on them daily. I want you to write that down. 4 things daily. And with that and Jenny's help, I went from 0 to hero in 6 months, was able to manifest 10K months, then 20K months and beyond, and stay there with like 2 months where I fell short, being totally transparent with you, because life and death still keeps happening for me. But I want you to know your voice matters. And no matter what, if you do face to face, belly to belly, online, everything I teach today applies to this. How are you going to be seen, heard, and paid in 2022? You have a system for that. Well, this is my 4 steps. Jenny really crushed #1, so I'm really not going to cover most of that. I'm going to hit on a couple of things that are important for you to, again, there's going to be some homework we're going to be doing together, so hopefully you don't go very far. We're going to talk about how you can create more sales in less time with a balanced life. Jenny talked about right brain, left brain. That's a huge component of what I talk about as well, and time management. How to generate 100 to 400 leads a month. And if that's like, oh my gosh, that sounds impossible, don't worry, you can do it. 5 leads a day. And then fortune is in the follow-up. Do you have a follow-up system? So I just want to give a throw out to Jenny, and what she talks about is if you see sales as a used car sales approach, like this movie, Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, then that's going to impact your results. Thoughts create actions, or thoughts can create inaction, right? If you don't want to do your lead generation every day, if you have those limiting beliefs, they're always going to help you self-sabotage. You're going to find 5 hours all of a sudden to just hang out on Facebook scrolling, right? Or you're going to go do the laundry when you're working from home. I think I need to do the laundry right now when you really need to be doing something else, right? Like income producing activities. And that, of course, impacts your results. There is someone unmuted. Not that it matters to me, but Jenny, just in case you want to check that.
Got it. And we're still struggling a little on your sound. I don't know what's happening, but the closer you are, the better. So
okay.
give us a close up.
I'm going to be close. Close encounters with the lowest kind. Hold on a second here. I'm going to try something. Hold on. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3.
That's nice.
Is that better?
Awesome.
Okay. All right. So just to keep going, moving right along, part of my limiting beliefs came from when I was, young. I thought I had to be perfect. Any perfectionists or recovering perfectionists out there, that actually was the main reason I was frozen at the beginning of the pandemic, because I didn't have all those things, right? And a lot of it came from when my mom was actually a schizophrenic, and I was born in that environment, and she left actually when I was 4. All of a sudden, I felt like, you know what? I got to be perfect. I got to be the good girl. I can't make waves, and I can't speak my truth. Don't do that. That's scary. So by focusing and working with Jenny, by focusing on like that 17-second rule that she talked about, and starting to focus on the goodness in my life, believing in myself, not worried about making a mistake, not worried about being perfect, I was able to create more in less time. This is really, really important. Really, really important for you guys to remember that on a daily basis. Because whatever you focus on expands. If you see the world through your dreams, prosperity materializes. That's why I shared with you some of my dream examples. But if you see the world through your fears, poverty just keeps coming to find you some way, somehow. And I've been homeless before, so I know this to be true as well. So one of the parts of the mindset that's really important before we get into lead generation is, do you know your 5 W's? And I want you to write this down. We're not going to go through all of them because of sake of time, but I coach on this. This is really important. Who do you serve is the first W. Who do you serve? Do you know your target market? That's also part of mindset. It helps you set the intention of who you're going to go talk to that day. Is it warm market? Is it women? Is it, groups? Is it, whatever you want to focus on? It could be professionals. Are you focusing on real estate professionals? You focus on coaches? Do you focus on insert here? What do you say to them, or what do you lead them to? What is the end result of them working with you? The win, we're going to talk about when we get to step 3 and actually step 2 and 3 about lead generation. But when do you generate these leads? When are you having these conversations? Where are you finding these people? Where are you finding your leads? Where are you going to generate them? Is it in person? Is it online? Is it Facebook, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. And then your why. There's two components to the why, and this is where I'm going to have you roll up your sleeves with me, take out a pen and paper if you don't already have it, and we're going to start writing your why, or it's also known as, you can write this down as, why should people care? Why should they hire you? What is your why? And are you sharing that in your messaging and your marketing and on calls with people? It's also known as USP. If you want to write that down, that stands for unique selling proposition. Unique selling proposition. It's what makes you you. It's why I needed to get over that perfectionism and that fear and not be afraid to speak my truth. So this was my belief statement, my USP that I put together. I'm only leaving it here as an example for like 1 minute. So if you want to screenshot it, this is, and I'm going to give you like maybe 3 minutes tops, because I need to keep moving right along, on starting to write your own. This is something you can use in your messaging, your marketing, your LinkedIn profile. This is your infomercial, your 10-second elevator pitch when you go somewhere. So I created this and I wrote this out every day, guys, every day. It wasn't exactly this one because that was 2 years ago. But most people, they go out in sales and they have no direction. They don't believe in themselves because they don't know exactly what it is that they offer and who they serve. So coaches and healers hire me to live their best life. That's part of the what. It's also part of the why. Creating 10 to 20K months in a balanced way, coming from a spiritual service-based mindset. Again, Jenny and I both believe in sales as service. Creating limitless leads and limitless sales. That's essentially what is it for them. Through permission-based sales, all while experiencing their best health, their best wealth. Bottom line, I help people work smarter, not harder. So I want you, and I'm going to start the timer really quick because we got to keep crack-a-lacking here. I want you to go ahead and write out some of the 5 W's. Who is your target market? And it would help if I could find the timer. There we go. Who is your target market? I'm going to keep talking. I just want to, this is a master class, and I know how it is when the webinar ends and you're running off to the next thing. But I really want to make sure you walk away with the start of this. It's going to take you probably months to perfect it. And like I said, progress over perfection. It's all about writing it out every day as part of the exercise of rewiring your subconscious as well and taking ownership of who, what, when, where, and why. So again, who do you serve? I'm going to go back up here. If you want to start making it into a sentence, don't worry about that yet. You can come back to that later. Who do you serve? What do you serve them with, or what is their quantifiable end result? Mine is helping them get to 10 to 20K months in a balanced way. You can skip the where. We're not focused on that, although you do need to know. Part of your lead gen strategy daily is got to be where you going to find these people that you're going to serve. They don't just fall from the sky. Although, you know, Jenny and I could probably help you figure that one out. But anyway, keep going. We got 90 seconds. Again, you're wanting to fulfill your purpose and passion, your divine purpose, your reason for being. How are you doing that? And remember, I won't be able to answer questions on this now, but if you had a question regarding this, you can put it in the Q&A chat. When we get to the Q&A, I'll dive right in. You got less than 60 seconds. Probably starting to write it in a sentence. Again, you can rewrite it, watch this over again. Drop in the chat if you feel like you got a good start. I want to hear from you. Drop in the chat if you feel like you got a good start on your belief statement. 15 more seconds. 3 minutes is actually a lot longer than I anticipated. start wrapping it up. And again, one last look. All right, 3, 2, 1. So right away, that hopefully gives you posture, gives you confidence, and gets you going into that direction of, instead of self-sabotaging, you're moving forward with faith and belief because you are very clear. And oh, by the way, people start showing up when you have posture, confidence, and you're clear on who it is you serve and what it is that you do to help them. So number 2, being a master steward of your time and energy. We're all given the same 24 hours in a day, and yet why do some create more in life than most? Why are there people that rock their quote unquote New Year's resolutions, even though I don't believe in those anymore because I was in the health and fitness industry for a long time, remember? And it's because of structure and focus. Structure and focus. And I will tell you, I read this book back in 2016. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like P90X. This is all about periodization. The science of periodization is peak performance. It's laser beam focus. Less is more approach. Write that down. Less is more. You can be more and do less and have everything in life that you ever want if you can shift that mentality. And so I was able to go from, and that was in 2016. It was after a really difficult time in my life. I won't go into all of it, but we were in severe debt at that time. I read that book, and ever since then, I've been able to create and manifest more in 12 months than most do in, or sorry, 12 weeks than most do in 12 months. And here's one of the components of the 12-week year is in 12 weeks, 1 week is the equivalent to a month in a calendar year. So you don't have time to say yes to 50 things. You don't have time to have 10 goals. You can only have 2 business goals and 2 personal. So write that down. What are your 2 business and 2 personal goals? And I do recommend at least one of them being an income or sales related goal. And I do recommend that the other one is a lead generation strategy goal. Okay. And of course, you're not just a business person, you're a human. A spiritual being, of course, having a human experience, you want to have personal goals. So it could be health, it could be spiritual related, it could be mindset related, it could be a lot of different things. But if you go all in on just those 2, this is what's possible. So some of this is what I created, but some of it's also my clients. Building an email list from 0 to 5,000 in 6 months. Dude, there's people who've been building a list for 20 years that don't have 5,000. However, it was done in 2 back-to-back 12-week years, also known as 6 months. Client doubled income in 60 days. Client hit their first 10K month in 6 months. Hit first 5-figure month in 4 months. Hit first multiple 5-figure month in 9 months. Launched a top 20 podcast in 5 weeks. Most people don't get there. Built a 1,000+ member Facebook group. That's a lead generation strategy in 3 12-week years. Client bought their first home after quadrupling sales in only 3 12-week years. Anybody like any of those numbers? Any of those sound good to you? This is one of those testimonials, Kathy O from Minneapolis. Because of the 12-week year and doing less and being more, she was able to focus on her income producing activities on a daily basis. She loves how she feels. She's so clear, wakes up every day knowing exactly what her execution plan is because she's not doing 50 things. She also got her sales team. So if you have a sales team, this is duplicatable, deep down in depth. You want to master it first, learn it, do it, then teach it. And she was able to buy her first home ever in her lifetime because of the increased income. So my questions to you are, do you run your day or do you let your day run you? Life is short. My brother died at 49 years of age. He never saw 50. I know there's a lot of people impacted by the pandemic, death. You just never know when your last day is. And I find a lot of us put a lot of busyness on our plate. Part of it is because we just don't know what to do first, right? I don't know if anybody can relate to that. However, I'm here to tell you, ask if you have a clear vision, does this thing that someone's presenting to me make sense? Does it fit my vision? If not, just say no. Just say no. Everybody has an opportunity for you. And the best part is when you're clear on your goals, both personal and professional, you can say no and say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate it. I've got this 12-week year thing going. Talk to me in 6 months. Easy, easy. Making sure you're not overcommitting and making sure you have healthy boundaries. So really quickly, last thing, I want to stop my share because I have to pull up my little image. I want you guys to also, this is the last element inside of the 12-week year, is your ideal work week. Jim Rohn says, when do you begin your week? And your day, of course, when it's finished. When do you begin your day or your week? When it's finished on paper. And ideally, I am old school. I love paper calendars and planners, but I know there's always the Google. Whatever you use is great. Just make sure it's predictable. This is your time budget in color code, whatever you want to do. But do you have your appointments? Like, I love putting sales calls on my calendar before the person shows up. That's saying, I'm ready for you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Where are you? Instead of spending 5 hours on Facebook, right? You're leaving room and spaciousness for those people to book on your calendar. And then, of course, prospecting time. I do it daily. This calendar is just one of many examples that I've worked with my clients on. But you gotta budget your time. You gotta put things into time blocks. And if it doesn't fit in your 12-week year, guess what? It doesn't go on the calendar, right? So again, making sure your income producing activities go on there first, your big rocks, and then you fill in the blanks from there. All right, now I'm going back to my slides. So step number 3 now, part of that 12-week year goal, again, I recommend having a lead generation strategy, especially if you are maybe newer to online sales, but even still, I've been now doing this 2 years in the new quote unquote normal, and I still do an hour a day of lead generation. 5 leads a day. 5 leads a day, keep the creditors away. An hour a day. You're worth it. And every sale starts with a lead generation conversation. And oftentimes we'll talk about the follow-up. That's a whole nother step on the next one. So I encourage you to use online sales conversations and opportunities. Everyone is online. However, you can also waste a lot of time on there. So you want to do this in a balanced way and use it as a megaphone or a lead magnet, how you are connecting with your audience so people can find you, vet you. What can your top lead magnets be in 2022? So next page is some examples. And again, remember I said one of the 12-week year goals, ideally one of them is a lead generation strategy. You could have a YouTube channel. You could have an email list. You could have a Facebook fan page or group. I actually prefer groups to fan pages, but I need to change that on the slide. You could do webinars. I've coached people to do monthly or even weekly webinars to generate 100 leads a month. Joint venture lead generation, that's what me and Jenny are doing here right now. Full disclosure, blogging. If you want to start a blog, that's one of mine for 2022. But then how do you get it out there, right? That's the next question. We'll talk about that. Do you want to publish an ebook? Do you want a podcast? Do you want to be on LinkedIn? And a lot of people try 5 all at once and don't do any of them well. Pick one, maybe 2, but pick your primary and go all in for 12 weeks. The good news is you create it and it's there for forever. You have repurposed content forever. But don't try to do too many things. Then what is your actual daily plan? And I say daily, you got to decide if you want to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Look at your time blocking schedule, but how many new contacts will also help you with that. So 5 people a day times 20 days, assuming you have a Monday through Friday schedule, that's times 20, that's 100 leads per month. Now, if you're like me, I love today money, but I also love tomorrow money. That's why I built an email list. I don't want to work too hard. So if I can create an email and send it out and make an extra couple $1,000s, that was kind of a cool thing to be able to do last year. So if you want to build for tomorrow, also build an email list. I can help you with that. And then of course, I realize the numbers on the screen aren't necessarily correct, but how much time will it take you to generate 5 leads? Will it take you 30 minutes? Will it take you 60 minutes? On my live lead generation coaching group yesterday, I sent out 19 Facebook messages in 10 minutes. So if anybody says I can't do 5 a day, I really question that. It's just fear talking that's holding you back because you probably haven't done it. That's all. So schedule it on your calendar and then schedule some time for follow-up. And again, could be the same day, could be the next day. For sake of time, I'm going to keep going. But tell me, drop in the chat, does 5 a day seem doable? Could be phone calls, could be text messages, could be whatever. Is 5 a day doable? And here's the big deal. I do want to throw this out there really quickly. I'm not a big scripts person. I know there's sales trainers out there that's what they specialize in, that's fine. But I like to also make sure the most important script is how to listen first and form the relationship before going for the jugular, before going for the sale. You're kind of, interviewing these people. Not everybody is going to be your client, right? So you want to ask them questions like, tell me more about your family. How's your family doing? Learn more about their business. Ask them, what did they do for the weekend, or what are they going to do the weekend ahead? People love to talk about themselves. If you get them talking about them, their favorite thing, right? And if you get to the letter M in your conversation, where they tell you about their mission, their message, essentially their dreams, their goals, you just turned a stranger into a friend and possibly a customer for life. And that's the most important thing. So when you're connecting with people online daily, and again, this is just one element of the lead generation conversation, then people know that you really truly care and you're not just another spammy marketer sending them a link to sign up for my thing, buy my stuff, join my team, watch my video. It makes me want to vomit just thinking about it. And I get those daily. Anybody else get those daily? Yeah. Don't be that person. Okay, ask for permission before you send the link. And then here's the last thing to think about. Why am I so passionate about 100 leads a month? It's math. It's simple. What if 10 to 20% of those leads, if you followed up with excellence, bought? Even if 5% did. 20 or 10 or 5, write that down. This is part of your sales and marketing plan, but ultimately you got to know your numbers to grow your numbers. There's a lot of, sales conversion training and all of that kind of stuff, but hopefully this gets you excited. 5 a day. All it takes is 5 a day to generate those sales calls or conversations. And then again, if only 10 out of 100 bought, or even 5, and even if it wasn't that month, but it was the next month because you followed up with excellence, there's no reason you can't get to $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. Here's a great testimonial of one of my clients whose life was forever changed, just going all in and taking my 5-day challenge, which is included in our program today that Jenny and I are going to share with you in a little bit. And he was able to generate 147 leads in 5 days. He would spend exhaustive hours on Facebook every day. And he's got a young family. He's in Pakistan. And so he was trying to figure things out. But after going through 5 hours of my training, he was able to turn things around and change his life. And now his income in his business and in life has never been better. And it just started with going all in on lead generation and taking it seriously. So what is your number one tool this quarter? I want you to drop it in the chat if you know where you're going to speak your truth, attract your tribe, and grow your business. Mine was my podcast during the pandemic. Now I'm going into blogging. Drop in the chat. What is your best strategy to be seen, be heard, and be paid in this new world that we live in? And last but not least, how are you following up? The fortune is always in the follow-up. Do you have an email campaign? How are you staying visible, credible? Do you make follow-up phone calls? Do you send text messages? What is your thing? Because we know that 80% of the sales happen on the 5th to 12th contact. And I even love cold calling. I'm kind of weird, but I know if it's a cold call, it's probably going to take more follow-ups. Most people will do one and done. Most people never follow up with a prospect. Right there, your income could double if you just followed up a couple more times. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to create, and we want to get to Q&A really shortly here. So I hope you can stick around. But you want to create a follow-up system that's repeatable, duplicatable. You can also have your sales team duplicate this. This is very personal. This is not cookie cutter, one size fits all. This is just an example. And the whole goal is to turn them into friends and referral partners, if not customers. You want them to know that you are the expert authority. Again, going back to the belief statement on what it is that you offer and serve. And I will have to say one more quick thing. This is a little bit of it might be a trigger for some of you, but if you're trying to sell two things, that could be your biggest issue. It's really hard to try to sell two different things. Focus on one thing and master it to a certain level, certain income, before trying to do multiple streams. I'm just cutting it to you straight. So that's one thing to think about. Focus, focus, focus. But if you can master a follow-up system for one business or one opportunity, you can do it for another one. But if you create something, some people go as fast as 4 to 8 days with their follow-up and try to get 4 to 8 touches or 4 to 8 weeks. It could be 1 touch a week. It could be 5 touches in 5 days, and then you do a follow-up after that. Everybody's different. This is just an example. But if you see here at the end, I'm even throwing in things like asking for referrals. But at the very least, at the end, by the 8th touch, if they haven't bought, I'm still saying, hey, can we be friends? Can you be on my email list? Can you refer people to me? Because I'm your sales gal. Everything sales. You think of Lois, think of sales, think of mindset, think of Jenny, right? Because referrals are actually way more profitable than having to go out every day and try to find new leads. Am I right? Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So create your 8 touches and use that system over a 90-day period, again, a 12-week period, and perfect it. That could also be one of your 12-week year goals, and focus on it. Just in closing, it's all about progress, guys, over perfection. One step at a time. If you think you have to be perfect, I'll tell you what, that's a huge self-sabotage thing that I struggled with, still do at times. And it's also easy to fall into that people-pleasing behavior and saying yes, right? So getting clear boundaries, taking it one step at a time, just like this image, and knowing that Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So what action will you take next? Just like Jenny said, what action will you take next? This is not another, webinar. Jenny and I did this 18 months ago. We probably won't do it for another 18 months. So you guys are super fortunate to have this opportunity to be here today. So we want you to win. We want you to change your life in 2022. So are you going to write your belief statement? Will you share it openly? Will you focus on your time use champion mindset daily with the 12-week year? Will you read the 12-week year? Will you hire a coach? I didn't do any of this without a coach. Jenny was just one of 3 coaches I worked with to get to my 20K months. I did not do it alone. Will you hire Jenny and remove those subconscious blocks? Will you create that follow-up system that's systematic? So take a moment and write down, what will you do next based on what I shared with you as well? Because here's the real truth of the matter. Inaction is going to cost you more than action. Take 20 seconds and write down, what is inaction? Maybe this is like your 20th webinar already in 2022. I hope not. Action. What inaction will cost you is more than your action will today. Less time with your family and friends, burnout. I did that. Health challenges. I manifested an autoimmune disease at one point because I didn't believe in myself and was frozen in action. No vacation, working too much. I did that. Decreased income. I did that. Stress. Another year older and still being in the same spot. So as Jenny and I have, we want to share with you today, you have 2 options, right? You could go it alone, which is slower, full of mistakes, expensive, and painful. I did that for a while too. You could feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, that movie, right? Yesterday was Groundhog Day, where he lives the same day over and over and over again, right? And it was painful. It took him a long time to get to where he lived a different life, right? Or you could go together with me and Jenny as your tandem duo, where it's going to happen faster, fewer mistakes, much cheaper in the short and long run. and you're going to have some fun, right, Jenny? So I always like to say this is like your opportunity, your fork in the road. You could go on and just keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, or maybe humbling yourself, trusting your instincts, and taking an action today. Whether again it's working with me and Jenny or not, just know that you got to have some help. No one succeeds alone. So Jenny and I have, and Jenny's going to talk about her portion of it, but we have an 80% off 48-hour special today. And again, we don't know when we'll do this webinar again, and it's literally going to go away within 48 hours because this is like the deal of the century. But it's called the High Performance, if I could spell it, does supposed to be High Performance Sales Program, which includes 3 days of training with Jenny and her level 1 certification, spending 2 hours a month programming your mind. I'm throwing in 1 year of my Kofi Sales Formula Inner Circle sales training, access to my member vault, and then I also have a monthly referral global speed networking online group that just started in February. So Jenny, do you want to talk about your program first, and then you guys can start putting questions in the Q&A chat?
Absolutely. Great job, Lois. Thanks for your 4 points to sales success. I love it. I took a lot of notes. So excited to make this offer to you guys today. I don't know why Lois and I decided to give it to you for 80% off, but I guess we did. So here we go. So I have a 3-day training. It's a certification in the work that I do. And the reason that I'm offering this to you as part of the package we have today is because sure, you can hire me to help you remove your limiting beliefs and to achieve your sales success. But you know what happens? Every year you have New Year's resolutions. And every day new things happen, new challenges arise, new goals come up. And I want to actually teach you how to do this work for yourself. Now, I gave you a little exercise today where you crossed your arms a certain way and tap your fingers together. That is just the scratch of the scratch of the scratch of the surface of what I teach in my 3-day training. I teach you how to know what you believe and what you don't believe through a process of muscle testing live and remotely. I teach you a lot more of the science of your mind and the science of success. And I teach you a lot of different balances to program the mind for success. The one we did today doesn't always work. Your system wants to choose which process it needs, where the blocks are, and how to reprogram it. So I teach you all these different processes. Someone just typed in the chat, does it involve hypnotism? No, it doesn't. It's kind of like what we did today, that process. It's different body postures, it's different breath, it's different muscle tests to figure out where the blocks are, which process you need to change your brain and to accomplish your goals and how to set action. So I have 2 classes coming up. One of them is next week. It's online. It is, hold on, let me get my little calendar out, February 10th through the 12th. It's my level 1 training online. And the following week, I have a live training. It's the same thing in repeat, just live in my Escondido, San Diego office, February 17th through the 19th. And so if you get our package, you can attend one of these courses. If you can't make either of these dates, you can take one later in the year. And if you've already taken level 1 with me, you can take level 2 or level 3 or level 4 at the same crazy discounted price. So excited about that training. And then you also get with me twice a month. We have a transformation group where we meet in a group on Zoom to program our mind for success in whatever goals we're working on. So what I've discovered about the brain is it's a whole lot like the body. You don't just get in shape and then stop exercising and stop eating healthy, right? If you want to stay in shape, you got to keep doing the work. And your brain is the same way. You got to keep working on your brain so that it supports you instead of sabotages you. And so you got to work with me twice a month to program your mind for success and practice what you learned in my training. When you're done with my training, you can help yourself. You can help others. You can even get people to hire you to help them with mindset work. If that's something you want to do, you'll be certified in my process. So I'm super excited to offer this to you at our crazy discount. And then I'll kick it over to Lois to tell what's included in her part of the program.
Yeah, and I did want to mention in case someone did have to run, don't forget to put the questions in the Q&A feature. So normally that is all valued at $5,000 if you were to buy it separately, individually. But we didn't want it to be we didn't want price to be an issue. And we also know people are driven by deadlines. So Saturday at 1 p.m. You will have to pay $49.97. But if you sign up before 1 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday, it's only $9.97. So that's the 80% discount. Or we do have a payment plan option of $547 times 2. And the first 3 that take action and sign up, and Jenny, if you want to drop the link in the chat, it's balanceu.org/peak. The first 3 will get each bonus one-on-one times with me and Jenny. So just to clarify also on mine, because it's a lot, it's a lot, but we've seen people struggle and we want to see people win. We want you to come from that place of true choice and living your best life. So 1 year of my Inner Circle program it's a monthly membership normally, but you get a whole year of this Inner Circle sales training membership. That's 3 to 4 hours of live webinar style coaching and live lead generation. Like what I shared with you, we talked about the 5 W's. We talk about that. We talk about everything in my 4 steps. And I have other tools that you can use inside of the program to help you take action every day on your lead generation. But I generate leads with you. So we walk through that process. Those classes are on Wednesdays, the first 3 Wednesdays of the month. And then that also gives you access to my membership vault with countless recordings and my 5-day lead gen mastery course that Adil generated those 147 leads, my list building course to building an email list. And then I do have a global speed networking group online just once a month for now, but my hope is to grow that and expand that this year and actually teach you how to get leads through networking. A lot of people will attend networking Zooms. They'll go to in-person events and have no clue on how to convert those relationships and those opportunities into leads. So I know how to do that very well. And want to help you do that, and it's global. It's super fun. So, do we have any questions in the chat right now, or not in the chat? Sorry, the Q&A feature. Wait, we don't have the Q&A feature, so they have to ask it in the chat. I'm sorry, I spoke wrong. Any questions? And anything about anything we talked about today as well.
Deborah asks, how long do we have access to the program? So this is a year.
Mm-hmm.
1 year. You see the chat there, Lois?
Yeah. The one-on-one with you in item 3 is one-on-one session. Yes, with both me and Jenny. You get a one-on-one, and actually, sorry, I forgot about that. You're good, Christine. She read my slide, so I forgot to mention this. But yes, in my 12-month program, it also includes a one-on-one as well. But you're getting a bonus one-on-one with me and Jenny, the first 3 people that sign up on that link that Jenny put in the chat.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh.
Harumi, how about pain points? What are they? How can we find them? Are you talking about the pain points of the prospect? I'm assuming. Those, again, so much that I can train you on that. It is about asking the right questions, using the form technique. And again, a lot of it comes from the clarity of the 5 W's. If you're talking to someone that has 0 interest in your product or service and they're not even the right, prospect for you, that's where a lot of people get lost and hear more no's. So we just need to help you streamline your 5 W's and then get you to ask the right questions of those people. The more people you talk to, the more you're going to find the pain points. Like my belief statement, I didn't know what I knew now. So I was just wanting to help people increase their sales results, right? But then before I knew it, their biggest pain points after talking to a lot of people was they couldn't get to $10,000 a month. That's what they wanted because they didn't have a lead generation and sales strategy system, right? Jenny helps people reprogram their mind for better health, wealth, and balance and happiness. So she probably has, I know she does, a bunch of questions to ask people to help them self-discover if working with her is the right fit.
Lois, Fatima is asking if we can describe the 12-month program briefly. Do you want to go back to the last slide that has the outline of the 12-month program?
Yep, and I saw Colleen, where do we place our belief statements while I'm doing that? Absolutely everywhere. You can go to my LinkedIn profile. I have my belief statement on my LinkedIn profile. I put it on my landing pages. If you want to, if it's shorter, because Facebook doesn't give you very many characters, and neither does LinkedIn, but you can even put elements of it in your link or Facebook, profile. Or, if you just have a landing page, some people will put like a landing page in their profile and people click on it and have it, at the top. The other point of the belief statement was just writing it out every day as an exercise for you to take ownership of that and rewiring your subconscious mind along with what Jenny can help you with. So it's more personal, but you definitely want to be sharing it in your marketing, your messaging, when you're introduced on a podcast, if you're a guest, if you're speaking somewhere. The more you say it, the more real it becomes and tangible for you. And it's better. The marketplace responds much better to that than say, I help people, insert whatever.
I love that. So grab this offer, guys. If you buy it next week, it's $5,000. If you buy it today, it's less than $1,000. It's $997. So what an amazing offer that we've got for you today to help you break through your limiting beliefs, not just now, but forever, and to spend a year with us programming your mind for sales success. And really, I love how Lois keeps people accountable. And so I'm going to help you get rid of the limiting beliefs that keep you from doing what you want to do. And Lois is going to teach you the techniques and hold you accountable for a year. So I'm super excited for this offer for you guys, because it really is the secret to your sales success, the mindset and the mechanics we're offering both to you today. Christy said, am I offering the course later in the year too? Yes. So I'll have another course. So I do them every month, different levels. So level 1 is this month, and level 2 is next month, and then 3, and then 4. So level 1 will happen again in June. And so if you can't do it this month, you can do it this summer. Or if you want to pay a little extra, you can hire me to do it privately with you. Is the 3 to 4 hours a month of live coaching with Lois one session or 2?
Yeah, great question. So it's 3 separate classes. And I say 3 to 4 hours because one class is an hour. The other 2 are 75 minutes because we do live lead generation. Like we go online, or if you want to smile and dial, whatever you want to do, for 30 minutes. So I wanted to make sure I left extra time. So that's the first 3 Wednesdays, Christine. And those are 1 to 1:15, 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes, 3 first Wednesdays of every month at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Fatima says, will there be one-on-one coaching in this course? So if you're one of the first 3 who register, you'll get a free 30 minutes with Lois and I each. And Lois has one free one-to-one during the year with her in her program. Rachel says, how do I sign up for the 5 hours coaching?
I think she's referring to my lead gen mastery. That's included. That's included in the program, in the offer. And in fact, just to give you an idea, Rachel, that by itself is $497. So that's included in the 80% off. So for $997, you get me and Jenny, plus you get that included inside of that. So I don't know if that, tell me if that didn't answer your question, because I could sell it to you as separate, but it'll be about more or less the same as our 2 payment plans too. Any other questions about the content today? Anything, any other questions?
I just want to share that Lois just started working with one of my facilitators, and her sales have been increasing dramatically thanks to Lois. So, you know, you need the mindset, but you also need the tools. And so I thank Lois for giving her the tools so that she could create her success. So it really does work. The two of us combined can get you to where you need to go in your sales. Rachel says she signed up. Awesome.
Fantastic.
Perfect, Rachel, excited for that.
And I was going to say, if I'm just making sure I didn't forget a slide. If you have questions, because some people have been, you know, saying, can we talk before the deadline? Jenny, should we just say, should they email us after this
I
call?
actually put my cell number in the text in the chat. Feel free to call me, or you can email us. Yeah, either one. I'll put my email in as well.
Perfect. Awesome. And I was going to say, you can email either one of us, and we'd be happy to serve you. And just remember, you guys are amazing. I want to acknowledge you for showing up here and taking time out of your day. And again, I'd love to see, yes, we'll, Jenny will get the recording as fast as possible. And the goal is to email it out to you guys within the next few hours.
Awesome. I think that's a wrap.
Yay. Hi, Marnie. I see your beautiful face. Aww.
Good being here with you guys. Wilma, I just saw you right now. Hey. It's been so long. Nice to see you.
Hey, Jenny.
What's up, Rachel?
Yeah, our other classes, how do I fit them into this one?
I will text you and we'll work it out.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
And Lori, thank you so much. Thank you. I like 12 weeks, yeah, but I'm not disciplined yet to continue. So I want to stick with you so I can get disciplined.
Awesome. You got it.
Well, we're excited to see you guys spread your wings and fly in 2022. And as Zig Ziglar said, you don't have to be great to start. However, you do got to start somewhere to be great. So I'm proud of you guys for starting and being here today. And we want to wish you the best health and best wealth and best application of this wisdom here today.
Awesome. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care. Bye.
See you.